It is BKFC's #1 ranked featherweight, Kai Stewart. He's joining us on Fight Week, man. I mean, just a couple days out from a big title fight. It's in your backyard. What's the feeling like for you right now?
You know, really right now the feeling is mostly just joy and like just happiness to be able to have this opportunity. Being able to fight in front of my home crowd in Montana, where like I've wrestled in front of these crowds countless number of times. I've fought in front of this crowds countless number of times. So I really do think that it gives me the advantage, but the real winners are Montana having such an amazing show coming up here.
That's awesome, man. So talk to me about that because, right, you come from a wrestling background. You were pursuing mixed martial arts as well in the amateur ranks, but then you turned to BKFC. So I guess, how did this start out, and how much of this is kind of your focus now?
Yeah, this has become my focus now. Being a world title challenger, you can't really go away from that. It's definitely was not on my bingo card on my life bingo card. However, they came to Montana 2021 October 9th, and 2 weeks notice I took a fight because I was told they need ticket sales. So I was gonna do it be a one and done, and then it was so much fun I just had to come back. So I am using a lot of my mentality and everything from wrestling in bare knuckle, but I'm a bare knuckle boxer now.
That's amazing, man. So there's a lot of talk over it. Like, is it more dangerous or more risky, or than MMA or other combat sports? What are your thoughts? I mean, knowing that you've done both, what are your thoughts on it?
Okay, so I've never been TKO'd, KO'd, never had any crazy brain injuries. I don't want to say yet because I'm not putting that in the atmosphere, but uh, I've done 12 MMA fights, I believe, including my amateur career plus a pro fight, and I didn't get cut one time. I've done 3 fights, and I took 2 cuts in one of those 3 fights. So in terms of superficial injuries like cuts, it's definitely more dangerous. But in long term, I don't think people are throwing as many punches. People aren't throwing with as much power because they don't want to break their hands. Some people just throw for whatever, and I mean, kudos to them. But I think brain injury long term is definitely not as bad in bare knuckle, and I think like that's another reason I'm like willing to do it is because I want to use my brain after my fighting career. I don't want to have brain issues like some people do at the end of their fighting career. So it's kind of just how you look at it. If you're scared of blood, scared of cuts, scared of broken hands, it's not probably not for you. But if you're wanting to protect your brain and you get cut up a little bit, like no biggie, teach their own.
That's well said. That's well said. All right. Well, you mentioned it. It's this Friday, June 9th. It's BKFC 44, Great Falls, Montana. #1 versus #2, right? Belt on the line. Louie
Yeah.
Lopez. I guess just give me your thoughts on the matchup because from what I can tell, you just don't seem to be a fan of this gentleman.
Yeah, I pride myself on being the bigger person. I have kids. I have a kids club and high school wrestlers that I coach that watch this, so I will not be saying some of the things he wants to say. However, the intent is there, and I've known him for too long. He's pulled out of MMA fights against me. I don't really see what the buzz around him is, and kudos to him for earning the shot. But I mean, this is going to be his resume filter: title challenger, not world champion. So that's kind of how that's kind of how I see the fight going. I respect what he has, but what he has isn't very much. So I've been training to do everything possible, and I've done everything I possibly can. There's nothing more I can do in my training. So going into this fight, I'm cool, calm, and collected, and whatever happens, happens.
I like it, man. You're taking the high road there. But I mean, I guess is this kind of personal? I mean, is it a grudge match for you?
Absolutely. And I'm gonna be real with you. It isn't really a grudge match with Louis. It's a grudge match with Louis's coach. Joe Riggs has been such an embarrassment to the fight community in how he acts and how he. You can ask a lot of people around town about him, and they all say the same thing. What's with that guy's ego? Like he's just has this big old thing about him, and he has straight up harassed me, He got into my girlfriend's face like a weirdo. Like, the dude is he just has a problem with me, and I'm about to do something he's never done, which I said on my other interview, and that's win a BKFC world title. And if I'm this subpar amateur, why am I ranked ahead your boy? Like, why all that? So the beef is with Joe. Joe Riggs needs to just go away, which I have heard that he is moving. He's leaving town. Like, Joe Riggs just needs to get out of Great Falls. Like, nobody likes him here.
That's interesting. Obviously, Joe Riggs, a guy that's been around the game for a long time. I'm curious, when you get in there, I mean, does that become a concern in losing focus? I mean, you've got an opponent in front of you. I mean, if he's barking at you from the outside or chirping, does that become a potential risk for distraction?
No, the biggest, and I think Joe Riggs is a big risk for distraction, but he's a distraction for Louie. I know Joe Riggs is in Louie's head saying, like, you have to beat him. Joe Riggs is leaving town. If Louie doesn't win, like, Joe Riggs is just gonna leave him here. Joe Riggs doesn't care about Louie Lopez. Are you kidding me? No. Like you could see how he talks about people in messages, in posts, and all sorts of things, and it's like he doesn't care about Louie. He cares about beating me, and Louie's the option. He's putting all of his money on Louie, and that's hilarious. Back to your question, though, I've wrestled over 1,000 matches in my day. I've been heckled so many times. I was booed for my high school state finals match because the other kid had more fans than me, and I got straight up booed during the match and still won. Once that bell rings, it's all business. I'm going to be the cool, calm, and collected one, and that's that. I think Louie's going to be fighting with way too much emotion.
I love it, man. Well, I mean, look, it's number 1 versus number 2, so that should be enough to tune in. But if you need a little extra storyline behind it, a little extra heat, we got that as well. Let me ask you, Kai, I mean, you touched, I mean, you made your pro MMA debut, and you said, I'm a bare knuckle boxer now. But I mean, you said it, you win a title here. I mean, do you think MMA goes away? Like, do you still have that desire to do MMA at some point? Or could it maybe be, like you said, I'm done with that, and I'm a bare knuckle boxer now?
Yeah, I don't want to ruin opportunities for me with bare knuckle whenever I say this, because right now my eyes are set on bare knuckle, and I'm going to take it as far as I possibly can. I've been a wrestler since I was 4 years old, though. The goal is the UFC. Like, it really is. The original goal was the UFC. But, like I said, life changes, and we're in bare knuckle now. So right now it's the focus. Don't be surprised if I make the UFC one day. Just because I'm so young. I have options. I could defend my title 3 times and still be under 25 years old. So I have so much youth left in me, so much time left in me that I'm not too worried about it, but I will be back in a cage one day.
I love it. I love it. Well, hopefully we get to see you in the UFC someday, but right now BKFC is where it's at. You got a title on the line. It's a big one. Like I said, you win this, I mean, it does huge things for your career. So what do you think we see here? I mean, is this going to be a back and forth kind of, I mean, we've seen some bloody battles in BKFC. Do you think this is one you can dominate? What kind of fight do you think we see here?
I think if I put together what I believe I'm going to do, I think I'm going to make it look very easy. I don't care if it goes 1 round or 5 rounds. I think the result's going to be the same. I was just called one-dimensional on the BKFC show by Chris Lights Out Lytle, saying that I have to be in a clinch as if I didn't fight Rusty Crowder at range. So I saw that as kind of like a really funny thing for Chris to say. But I'm willing to go in there and do whatever I need to do. If Louie does this, I'll do that. And plans A through Z are unlocked, and there's really, I don't know, there's no really prediction in it. It's just pure violence and dominance from this time. Hopefully, Big Dan Mergliata says knuckle up. So I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to take the trash out, because I mean, in my honest opinion, this guy's done nothing. This guy's done nothing but harass people and make people's lives a living hell, and they're gonna pay for it Friday night.
Man, I love it. If I wasn't fired up enough already, you got me sold now. Kai, I know it's fight week, so I'll let you get back to it. I appreciate the time and squeezing me in. It's this Friday night, June 9th, Great Falls, Montana, or the BKFC app if you can't be there live. Kai, best of luck.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.